This morning I woke up surrounded by the Chisos Mountains in Big Bend National Park. Today I'm going to take you along as I hike the popular Window Trail and tell you how this beautiful wilderness is somehow connected to nuclear weapons. My name is Natasha Bajma, and these are my dogs, Charlie and Luna. We're embarking on the adventure of a lifetime, a 365-day journey across America with my Ford 350 Super Duty pickup truck and a truck camper. But this is no ordinary road trip. This is what happens when a disillusioned nuclear weapons expert, going through a midlife crisis, tries to begin a new career but can't quite get off topic. Radioactive Road Tripping is a travelogue show that documents my transformation from a longtime national security expert to a newbie director, cinematographer, and producer. As you take the Chisos Basin Road, you can see the pointy peak in the distance that marks the famous gap called the Window. The Window Trailhead is located inside the Chisos Basin campground, which means you can start the hike with just a short walk from your campsite. You can also enjoy sunsets at Window View, which is an easy paved walk from the campground and marks the start of the trail. I've walked down into the basin, and now it's much harder to see my destination, but I'm the only one on the trail this morning, and I'm surrounded by stunning wilderness. The Window Trail is 5.6 miles round trip from the campground, with a change in elevation of 980 feet. So far, it's a windy path with the occasional stones here and there. I read this hike should be done early in the morning hours since the heat of the sun is quite intense by mid-morning on the walk back. We're facing west, so the sun is now at my back. It's around 70 degrees and comfortable so far. As the sun comes up, the light is changing the color of the rocks. I'm absolutely blown away by the beauty around me. There's an interesting mix of plant life that can survive the extreme conditions of the desert. I hinted in my intro that Big Bend has a connection to nuclear weapons. It became a park in 1944 after a short tenure as a Texas state park. Visitors come to the park for its diverse hiking trails, unique landscape that combines river, desert, and mountains, and some of the best stargazing in the country. How could this amazing place have a connection to nuclear weapons? In the research for my trip, I read a 500-page book by Richard Miller titled The U.S. Atlas of Nuclear Fallout, 1951 to 1962. I discovered that one county in Texas, not far from where I live, was ranked in the top 100 for receiving the largest amount of radioactive fallout from the atmospheric nuclear weapons testing in Nevada in the 1950s. The same test that dropped much of its radioactivity near my coastal hometown in Texas also passed over Big Bend National Park. But how could this have happened? The U.S. government conducted nuclear weapons tests in the open air at the Nevada test site near Las Vegas from 1951 to 1962. The first series of atmospheric tests started in January of 1951 and was called the Ranger Series. The fourth test in this series was named Ranger Baker 2. The U.S. government dropped a nuclear weapon with a yield of about 8 kilotons from a plane over Nevada, and it detonated at an altitude of about 1,000 feet, producing a massive cloud of radioactive dust. The U.S. government tracked the pathways of radioactive clouds at 10,000 and 30,000 feet across the entire United States, measuring the amount of fallout dispersed on the ground below. 1,000 feet, the nuclear debris from the Ranger Baker 2 test traveled south from Nevada into Arizona, passing north of Phoenix, and over New Mexico, entering Mexican airspace for a time before moving back into the United States at Ruidoso, Texas. From there, it passed over Big Bend National Park to Carrizo Springs, Texas, and out over the Gulf of Mexico at Aransas Pass. Before the cloud reached its final destination in Florida, however, the radioactive dust cloud mixed with a storm cloud and produced radioactive rain, falling down on the citizens of Refugio County without their consent or knowledge. Because of this single test, Refugio County ended up ranking 43rd of 3,078 U.S. counties in terms of highest amount of fallout received from these tests. Between 1951 and 1962, the U.S. government conducted 100 such tests over the state of Nevada, dispersing radioactive fallout around the entire country and creating random hotspots like Refugio County as far away as Boston and New York. I expected to discover radioactive fallout in Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, and other downwind states, but I couldn't believe just how far the radiation had traveled across our country, exposing Americans to harmful radiation and jeopardizing the environment. So what does this mean for Big Bend? There are radioactive remnants from U.S. nuclear weapons testing in the ground right here in this basin. Though not enough to pose a danger today, the radioactive fallout from the past has left its footprint on precious landscapes such as this. So far, this trail has been rather easy, but it's about to become more challenging. The last quarter mile is requiring me to navigate some smooth rock, and since I'm a klutz, the trick for me is to avoid tripping and falling. I finally made it to see the famous window, and it's well worth the long walk. It's time to head back. Now I'm walking east and directly into the morning sun. It's much warmer now, about 80 degrees, and it's not even 10 a.m. If you look closely, you might notice the flickering of butterflies in front of the camera. There are hundreds of butterflies flitting through the area around the trail, making me feel like I'm in some distant fairyland. This is hard to capture on camera, but it feels absolutely amazing. If you want to follow my journey, please remember to subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you'd like to have access to behind-the-scenes content and exclusive merchandise, become a patron at patreon.com/Natasha Bajema